Hey guys, and welcome back to the HobbiWerks channel. This morning I was rearranging some of my stash wall, and as I was moving boxes around, I came across this 53 Corvette box, and I knew it was empty because the 53 Vet is on the credenza behind my desk. But when I picked it up, I could tell there was something in it. So when I opened the box, I found something that I have not seen in at least 12 years, maybe longer, that I built remembering my buddy Ricky Couch. I also found another kit in another box that I'll share at another time, but I want to show you what was in this box. Stick around, guys. Is this not cool, guys? I hadn't seen this thing in a long time. This is a combination of two of the old MPC Trike series bikes. This started off as the milk trike, but I didn't like the little blisters that go out over the tires. So I cut the fenders off of the taco trike, grafted them on, and I think it gave it a much better look. Cut out the back end so you could see inside to the fuel cell area there. All of the chrome on this kit was stripped and done with all-clad back in the day. Valve covers, the whole front fork section, the wheels, the rear end, all of that stuff were redone. This trike series, if you remember it, you had the torque trike. I think there was a male trike. These things were first introduced in, I think it was 1971, according to Scalemates, and I think it was the milk trike was actually called the T trike. But either way, it's the same one. And I changed some things up. It has some photo etch here and there. Let's start up front. We'll start there and we'll go around the bike. The forks, after I stripped them, I went back and changed the front wheel to a photo etch front wheel, brake, disc brake, and caliper. The springs, we'll come around. I'll let you take a peek real quick as we come around. We'll get back on the front wheel here. Again, that's the photo etch wheel. But the springs you see at the headlight there, and I'll put some stills at the end and may insert them here somewhere. That is actually solder. The springs that were molded in look terrible, so I cut them off, put a piece of rod through those, and then wrapped some solder, some very thin solder around and around them to give it that spring look, and it looked a whole lot smoother too. The paint is Testors Sublime Green and just plain old Testors Dark Green, and different trim areas and stuff like that, you'll see the dark green as well. But this was a fun kit. The engine is the kit engine. It is just a Chevy small block. It has Detail Master injectors. It has a Detail Master pedals, steering wheel. Oh, let's see. There's several other things on here that are all Detail Master. I think the fuel cell in the back is actually, I think it was Model Car Garage. And no, that one was Detail Master too. You see the chrome rear end underneath there. And the same thing with the springs that I did up front. I also did those same type thing with the springs underneath. The shifter is actually nothing more than one of these little pins. You just chuck it into your Dremel, get you a 400 grit sandpaper, and you take it down to the diameter that's more in scale, because these things are huge. They're not in scale, so just chuck it in and sand them down till you get the ball the size that it needs to be. The distributor is Detail Master, as well as the matching spark plug wires in the green, which turned out to be a dead match. I'm going to do a video on how to do these headers and stuff as well, and collectors. I'm not real that pleased with this one. I'm probably going to redo them. The wood that you see around it. I call this one my version of tiki trike. But the wood you see around here is actually, the darker wood is from veneer inside of a cigar box. And then the light is nothing more than just balsa wood, thin strips of balsa wood. And then I took some of Charlie's at Protex nut bolt heads and just simply pressed those in there with a little bit of super glue. And that's what gave you that look. And by the way, the interior, if you can see on the A-pillars there, and it's going to be kind of hard to see up in the back, but that's all lined with that same veneer off or from the cigar box. Cool stuff, huh? And the headers, by the way, are 62 thousandths rosin core solder. That's all that is. And again, I'm going to do a video on how to do these. There's several ways to make the collectors that look better. I think I'm going to redo these now that I found it. Over time, you know, new stuff comes out. Just got the tan seat. And I don't know, I'll put some pictures so hopefully you can see the pedals and the instrument panel a little bit better. Got the foot pedal there. The underside is pretty simple. The transmission is the dark green, and you see the veneer floor there, the chrome. And oh, I was telling you about the springs. Don't know if you can see. There we go. And that is just, those springs are just solder as well. And I did the differential cover there. I went back with the same matching sublime green bolt heads, more like a show rod would have. Yeah, there you can see the interior down there with the paneling inside. And I don't know if I can get it turned enough. You can see the fittings and all, but kind of cool, huh? And then the transmission's linkaged up and all of that. So, but I thought this was cool. Good to see an old friend again like that. Don't you love that? Put in the comments if you ever found one that back in the stash somewhere that you'd long forgotten about. I know I'm in the light there, guys. Sorry about that. A little bit of heat stain on the headers there. Let's take a look here. The clicking on that turntable is running me crazy. It makes it sound like it's running, doesn't it? You got a knock in the engine. But oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, but the velocity stacks are also, I'm pretty sure they're Detail Master as well. It beat the plastic ones that came with it. I may have to take this one and show it a little bit, because it was a fun build. I like to share these things too. So, how about that? And guys, if you go back to these trikes, like I said, I think the original was released in 1971, but I think they're still pretty readily available. And oh yeah, there was I think the last one they did was the Cobra trike or something like that. But there were some cool trikes out there. And don't be afraid to combine a few of them. Like I said, I didn't care for the body of the original by itself, so I grafted those taco trike fenders on there, and I think it looks much, much better. And now I'm starting to ramble, guys. Sorry about that. But I wanted to share this one with you. It was, again, a pleasant surprise for me. But kind of cool. And I'll share the other one I found, which I'm not, it was something I did a kit review for Scale Auto years ago, and I'm almost ashamed to show it, but I think it's worth it. So I'll show that one to you coming up soon too. Okay, guys. Well, something is calling me. All right, guys. Thanks so much for reminiscing with me here for a few minutes, and God bless. I will see you in the next video. Thank you, guys.